promote public policy for long-term sustainable floodplain management and watershed management activities. This is what sets the foundation apart from many other organizations. We're not looking at the impacts in 2 years or 4 years, but over a decade or two going down the line. What I'd like to do is announce or recognize who is on the foundation board. And if you could stand when I say your name. Dana Curdy, Mike Depew, Jerry Galloway, Jerry Luthane, Mike Moy, Tom Waters, Mike Armstrong, Vince DiCamalo, Joanne Howard, Faraz McCarram, John Schaefer. On the executive board, we have Wally Wilson, the foundation vice president, Grant Smith, implementation and outreach chair, Doug Placencia, the events committee chair, Dale Lehman, the development committee chair, Larry Larson, the foundation secretary and treasurer. And then we have the advisory board of Dr. Raymond Burby, Dr. Burl Montz, Jim Wright, John Kussler, Larry Ollinger, and then helping us from the foundation itself is Sam Medlock, Diane Brown, Debbie Pond, okay, and many others in the foundation, but those are the ones that help us out. I'd like to thank all of the people for your service this year. The foundation and ASFPM complement one another, and we need to face the challenges together to solve these problems. There are two primary challenges that I believe we need to face over the long term. The first deals with our population. Our population today is estimated to be about 310 million people. By 2050, the most probable estimate is this going to grow to 400 million people. Okay, 310 to 400 million. There are some estimates that project it to be as much as 500 million people. Okay. We need to plan smartly for where these people are going to live. There are many initiatives underway. We have sustainability that Sandra has just talked about. We have low-impact development. We have natural and beneficial uses of floodplains. We're going to have to come together with all these policies in order to maintain our quality of life. FEMA is a very important part of this process. FEMA obviously identifies the floodplains across the nation. There are about 4.2 million miles of streams that drain greater than 1 square mile across the nation. 3 million that are not on public lands. FEMA has mapped a little over 1 million miles of stream. So when people think that the work is over and done with, it's far from that. These people are going to wind up growing in living places, and we need to get out in front and protect these areas. The second major issue that we have to face is the economy. Okay? This can be perhaps the most challenging issue we will face. I believe this enemy can be very silent, very ruthless. The issues are harder to comprehend and are more abstract in nature. And the truth gets distorted by numbers every day. All we have to do is look in the past month and see what's happening around our world. If you take a look at Greece, Greece has the 27th largest economy in the world. 27th largest, okay? And if you've watched the news, you've seen the turmoil that happened with Greece. One of the measures that happened, Greece's debt compared to GNP reached 115% and was just skyrocketing upward, if you believe that is one of the indicators. In the United States, we have the largest economy. The Congressional Office estimates that our gross debt to national product was at 70% in 2008. It has grown to about 94% today, and we're going to cross over 100% in the next year or two going forward. Over half of the interest rate amount that we're spending now is going outside of the United States. So before, when the interest was used to help develop and reinvest inside the United States, over half of it now is leaving. Who knows what the impacts of the economy are going to have for us? You can go and do research and prove yourself right. There's enough people that say this is good for us, as enough people to say this is bad for us. But there's no doubt in my mind, economic pressure is going to be placed to loosen the floodplain management regulations. It's going to be stated that it's going to blame floodplain management for the lack of economic activity. Last month, Doug Placencia was at the National Flood Conference. An economic expert got up and did an analysis, Doug was telling me, that it said that we should encourage building in the floodplain, that there was a 3-year payback for that type of effort. But it ignored all external costs going forward. We can't be that narrowly minded going forward. There is hope. Because we live in the most powerful nation in the world, we can counteract these items. We can't let our guard down, but we need to do our part to not help grow the federal deficit. We need to prepare for when disasters come. What we are doing today is making a difference. It is saving lives. It is saving property. We have the ability to set the tone now that we cannot tolerate senseless damages. We cannot tolerate the loss of life. We need to continue down the path to prevent the loss of life and economic chaos and damage. The foundation supports activities to support these end goals. The foundation is really just part of an overall comprehensive loose strategy made up by many different groups that believes that they want a nation that is better for their children than what we have today.